What up? It's your boy T-Bone on Reaction. Today's Wrestling Wednesday, so I wanted to do this out the way just in case I don't have time and do it and do this along in back to back with a video I did that's related to it. I mentioned it in my box, but I didn't know the full name of it though. So let me go to it. It's from What Culture Wrestling. Oh come on. Anyway, What Culture Wrestling from the homie Simon. I don't know why I decided to do that. So the video, I remember, was called was it what culture did it? Fuck. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. This one I'm doing is yep, here we go. 10 dumb WWE matches we didn't admit was genius. Now we're gonna check out 10 dumb WWE title changes we didn't want to admit was genius as well either. So this time it's the title changes we don't admit is genius. Because you know, sometimes some challenge changes we don't like, but it works out at the end. So anyway, without further ado, let's check it out.
When you think about it, the WWE title hasn't changed hands that much. To earn this honor is still considered a big deal, and while there have been periods where we hot potatoed it, looking at you, Attitude Era, it is a prestigious prize. Let us keep it that way.
Yeah, never don't play the Attitude Era like that. The so-called hot potato thing made the title more interesting than the long title run, to me at least. For real, I will say that.
On more than one occasion, it has totally baffled us when it came to new champions too. But you know what? These turned out alright. So I am Simon Miller. You've already seen the title. Let's roll. Number 10, JBL in 2004. I think the reason for the confusion is mainly because all of this was in fast forward. We were still getting our heads around Bradshaw becoming JBL when we got to the 2004 Great American Bash, and yep, John defeated Eddie Guerrero for the WWE title. What the flub is happening? Well, I'll tell you, it turned out some really good booking. JBL was such an asshole, he was able to establish himself at the top of the card, especially because he always kept that championship by the skin of his teeth. It was purposefully infuriating.
Yeah,
in later years, we learned Eddie had requested this too due to the pressure he felt as the man. What did it all lead to? John Cena beating Layfield on WrestleMania 21 to move his rise to stardom into overdrive. So Bradshaw was just a necessary evil in this role, and he understood the assignment. Get other people over. His crazy long reign only helped.
I don't know why I'm all delayed. Let me check something. I'm back. I'm not sure why my shit started to get delayed like that out of nowhere. I was trying to delete some stuff, but they caused the delay in my video. So here I am back. Let's get it.
To move his rise to stardom into overdrive. So Bradshaw was just a necessary evil in this role, and he understood the assignment. Get other people over. His crazy long reign only helped with this, and while Cena would have made it anyway, it was a pretty good start. So yeah, fair play all around. Looking back, this was actually a huge success. Number 9, Sheamus in 2009. So the execution wasn't great again. Looking back, WWE may have needed this. Essentially in 2009, the WWE title had become trapped between John Cena and Randy Orton. And as is always the way, fans were getting a bit tired of it. It's nobody's fault, it's just what happens. It meant when Sheamus from nowhere won the big belt at the TLC pay-per-view, people were genuinely stunned. Message boards blew up as always. Such is life. It would have been better if we didn't over-rely on the table stipulation, which brought the Irishman the gold. But I'll tell you what it did do. It kept Sheamus near the top of the card forevermore. I mean,
facts, man. He was even on covers of on pay-per-views. Faces on cup reviews, man, for real, during his early reign.
Go through his whole career. While there are some lower moments, mostly he was always treated like a threat because he came in with a bang and he beat John Cena. It was still nuts that Sheamus went from ECW to Raw and achieved this so fast. Time has been kind to the decision, and again, WWE did feel a little bit predictable in 2009, so this at the very least was something to chat about. It kept you on your toes. Number 8, The Miz in 2021. A lot of people forget that The Miz basically stole Otis's Money in the Bank briefcase back in 2021.
Did my man Otis dirty.
Successfully cashed in on this bullshit to become the WWE champion. I would assume it was down to the fact individuals were mad, Before this, The Miz had kind of been stuck in the mid-card. The details are super important here, however, because Drew had just won a grueling Elimination Chamber match, so having the A-lister steal away his glory was horrible. Whether WWE knew it or not, this was going to be a crucial act for McIntyre's big heel turn down the line, because it was the first of his many, well, that's very unfair moments. And sure, you can now say, well, that's just an accident, but who cares? WWE still used it and helped turn McIntyre into the beast he was in 2024. I mean, that was going to happen anyway.
And also, if you're sorry to know, it gave the chance for Lashley to define one of the top titles as well too. And low-key made Lashley the face, low-key a face in there as well too. He had all the guys, he had all the wrestlers behind him. They had too many chances where Miz was denying it and all that. Then he finally did with all the wrestlers surrounding and celebrate for him. But they were, of course, they had to revert to her business being heel again by one, kicking out Cedric and Shelton for not taking care of Drew McIntyre and all this nonsense. I was like, the chance for me to not go through this nonsense with the certain wrestling fans and wrestling group was part of that was getting on my case for not rooting for the Hurt Business because I don't root for heels, but you know the whole story. Like I said, that which almost made me quit being a wrestling fan. And thank God it's not as extreme as it is now with the Hurst thing going on, especially because it's AEW. Not saying nothing bad about AEW, but at the same time, I'm glad. I hope it don't go down that way. But anyway, let's keep going.
The fact we moved some of the chess pieces is great booking. Miz didn't hold it that long either because he dropped it to Bobby Lashley. So you could also get over that.
See, the rest there was everybody scaring around like he was a babyface.
Hell yeah. This really did work out in the long run. Number 7, John Cena in 2017.
Yeah, but why?
So remember this. A lot of people losing their minds with John Cena's 2025 retirement tour were definitely mad about what happened here, so we've got in reverse. Right. Cena has lived long enough to become the hero. At the Royal Rumble of this year, though, John Cena did defeat...
I loved it. Lived long enough to become the hero. I love that as an option at times as well, too. That's a good option to have. Not the only inevitable being live long to see yourself as a villain. No, you still live long enough and still be a hero and a good guy. I like that.
AJ Styles to win back the WWE title. And do you know why this ruled? Because it brought the man who can't be seen to 16 reigns. If we didn't do this, he wouldn't be in the position he will be during this final run, where, he may actually get to number 17 and stand atop of the mountain. So sure, you may have been upset.
And I hope he does a babyface. Please don't do it. No, please don't do a late heel turn. It's not going to be worth it. Folks ain't going to boo him. Now, they go cheer more than anything, which is sad, but at the same time, you get it.
At the time, but it worked out overall. I think Cena's retirement is going to be twice as fun because WWE at the very least will tease it. I tell you this too, I would pull the trigger. If anybody deserves to have this accolade, it's this guy. He couldn't have given any more if he tried. And wrestling is about making you happy. John doesn't need to hold it that long either. You could probably even change your mind after a week. So yeah, I am totally good with it. Number 6, Brock Lesnar in 2019. Let me make this clear. Yeah. Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston for the WWE title on the Fox debut of SmackDown sucked. It sucked then, it sucked now. Kofi should still be livid. So bad. Which begs the question, why is it in this list? Well, obviously, I'm going to tell you. Because the fact of the matter is, WWE was going to do this regardless. There was nothing we could do. Kingston only got the nod through some mad circumstances, and we've seen that before. Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. They get to the promised land, and then Vince McMahon treated them like idiots. With all that in mind, this was the best way to get it done. Just pull the Band-Aid off. WWE was never going to let Kofi show any sort of dominance against Lesnar, so rather than see him mauled for 10 minutes, just remind me how stupid wrestling can be. This was also the year of that Hell in a Cell match. It was a bad time. There's also the fact it did get a lot of people talking, which was the idea. So in that sense, I suppose it was a success. By that logic, though, we could have had Repo Man win the belt. The chatter would have been just as loud, especially from me. It also pissed enough people off that they were overjoyed when Drew McIntyre dethroned the Beast down the line. So it did have a payoff. But yeah, I will never forget Kofi. You are the best. Number 5, The Big Show in 2002. Oh, yeah. Given we have just chatted about that, let's reverse the mindset because, back in 2002, people felt the same way about Lesnar himself. Time is weird. 2002 was Brock's breakout year, though, and the man was a menace. He got over so fast because he was a killer, and he won the WWE title from The Rock at SummerSlam. There was no going back. It's why when he faced the Big Show at that year's Survivor Series, we all thought
at least I'm okay with this one because it led to his babyface, his awesome babyface run.
Was a foregone conclusion. The Giant wasn't doing much at that point, so he could just be a mammoth man for Lesnar to beat. And then Brock lost. Whoops. Thankfully, there was a reason. Firstly, WWE wanted to turn Lesnar face because he was getting cheered anyway. And during this, Paul Heyman turned on his friend and joined the Big Show, which was the main reason the belt switched hands. So yeah, I get that fine. It also allowed Kurt Angle to win the title from Big Show at Armageddon because WWE had already booked WrestleMania 19, which was going to be Angle versus Lesnar. As they wanted Brock to get the big victory there, though.
And we saw that video of the botches that made better matches. So another connection right there with these type of videos.
Somebody had to beat him beforehand, so yeah, Paul White wasn't the worst choice. That man is huge. In essence, we basically created a buffer zone with this, and actually seeing it play out wasn't half bad. Almost like if you know where you're going, you can go and get away with anything. Number 4, Kane in 1990.
All right, let's see what
this one is hilarious. 24 hours Kane was the WWF champion. That's right, one day. We all forget about this because it came at the 1998 King of the Ring, and yeah, that was the night of Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell. Human beings were being thrown off cages. Nothing else was going to stick. It was a huge surprise, though, because this pay-per-view was in June, meaning Stone Cold Steve Austin had only held the gold for 3 months. Think of that. It's not like his popularity was waning either. He was more over than ever. It meant everybody was shocked when the Big Red Machine drew first blood in the first blood match. Even more so if you were in the know. Kane had only been born to have a feud with Taker. Now he was the man. Do you want to know why we did this, however? Well, of course, it was to keep the fans on their toes, but the WWF also knew they had to keep firing shots in the Monday Night TV ratings. And what happened on the next week's Raw? The rematch was made very public, and Austin won his gold back. And that match
Give me a hell yeah!
Kane was such a beast, he got away with it too, so this was very smart, and overall likely helped the World Wrestling Federation claw their way back to the top. There's always ways and means. Number 3, Hulk Hogan in 1993. Nope, I am not giving this one a free pass.
No.
This is also one of the worst moments in WWE history. Dumb, really dumb. If you don't know, this followed WrestleMania 9 when Hulk Hogan walked to the ring after Bret Hart had been screwed out of the WWE title thanks to Yokozuna.
Every time I say despite this person being a babyface, I say, because usually I'm always despite the hill, I'll get proud, but despite this being a babyface, yeah, this wasn't a good look. I mean, again, he was a babyface, but still, despite being favorite, this wasn't a good look. I mean,
he had an
this one, the rare time I wouldn't give a face moment like this a pass. So yeah,
Hogan then won in seconds. Because was the champion.
Ain't mainly because of what they did to Yokozuna, but mainly because the other babyface was in the match, like Bret Hart.
Even now, I can't believe it. This only served one person. Or maybe 2. Because the reason this happened was down to the fact that WWF business wasn't doing very good. In a panic, Vince McMahon felt like he needed to see if there was life in.
Pretty much the situation with Brock.
In Hulkamania, a decision he thought he'd already made.
Hogan's the babyface.
He decided the tide had turned and we were done with all of that. But when numbers started going the wrong way, well, I guess you have to try. So we pulled the trigger super early and gave the gold back to Hulk, and you know what it told us? Nope, we are past that peak. By that year's King of the Ring, Hogan was gone again. Now, with hindsight, WWE should have used this to turn Hulk Hogan heel, as we know that would have been the secret sauce. But given Hulk's enjoyment of politics, this was actually the best of a bad situation. The championship was always going to go back to him at some point. Doing it this way was the fastest route to tell us it was not the answer. So while as a fan, I do not like it.
And comment below, Charmer, what happened to his eye around that time?
We still could have waited till Raw, though. Although that wasn't how the show worked back then. In fact, it barely carried any weight at all. Number 2, Hulk Hogan again in 2002.
But this is not a
bad one. This
one
was different, however. I don't think we had much of a choice. It was all off the back of that WrestleMania 18 match with The Rock, and we know the deal. The fans decided on that night they wanted pure nostalgia and cheered Hogan like it was 1984. Even with all the awfulness since, it remains very special. It was the timing that was fascinating because on that show, Triple H capped off his big comeback by defeating Chris Jericho to become the WWE champion. That had been the direction ever since he returned in January, when we got to Backlash, and he lost
this is when
to Hogan.
because
Totally
Undertaker
sweet.
cost him.
It didn't last long because this hysteria was always going to be short-lived. That's why it was good that WWE capitalized on it when they could.
Yep.
What they should do when young upstarts get over. Why not even when it's the other way around?
True.
If you had just ignored it, you would have lost the magic faster, and yeah, within a couple of months, Hulk had lost the belt anyway, and this made a lot of fans happy at the time. As we have talked about a lot, that is the idea of professional wrestling. Number 1, Bob Backlund in 1994. Talk about out of nowhere decisions. This was wild. For starters, nobody thought Bob Backlund was even going to return to the WWF in 1994, especially because the tagline was the new generation.
Yep.
Bob was the total opposite. He was as old school as they came. Now, actually, after this, everybody involved smartened up and turned Backlund into a crazy heel that was a lot of fun. But why on earth did we have him beat Bret Hart for the gold at the Survivor Series? Well, once again, I'm going to tell you. Once again, the powers that be will look into the future and realize they needed to light a fire under Owen Hart. Therefore, he screwed his brother over here, which made him into a right monster. And what happened a few days later on a house show? Diesel beat Bob to become the champion, so we are moving the pieces around again. It really would have been risky to have had Big Daddy Cool do this over the Hitman because Bret was so beloved, and doing it this way got Owen heat as the siblings continued their awesome feud. It also told the
Look at Tom Pilligan with a long-ass mullet.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Diesel was also mega over at this point as well, so it was the right thing to try. And while that didn't work out as intended, that was mainly because Vince McMahon instantly tried to turn Kevin Nash into Hulk Hogan. That part was stupid. So the rage of the time was fair, but sitting down with
I guess it's kind of relate to. You know, I always fuck with Roman Reigns as a babyface, and then during the big dog days. But I guess it's relate to the folks who dislike Roman as a babyface at the time. Was messed up, claiming that the reason why they like him because they try to make him the next Cena. So I guess the same thing with Diesel making him the next Hulk Hogan. So yeah, I guess at the time Vince didn't know what to do and let him keep the same persona. I mean, if it worked for Razor to keep the same persona, why try to do the same thing with Diesel? Just saying.
Oh, it's actually quite entertaining booking and the type of risks people could take today. It all worked out in the end, and everybody had something new to do. I say, good. Know of any other bizarre WWE title matches?
Alright, cool. There you have it, though. So this was a good video as well, too, from What Culture. And maybe I did want to check out another one I saw that they had before. They've already released this one. I'm going to probably do it in a minute. But other than that, though, like, if you agree with most of the stuff or disagree, comment down below. If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.